Harris continues swing state tour with stop in Arizona. Trump rallies in Montana. Harris was briefly interrupted by protesters, prompting her to pause her remarks and say respecting the voices of dissent was part of the fight for our democracy. BOZEMAN, MT. At his rally tonight, Trump continued to peddle a conspiracy that President Joe Biden, who dropped his re-election bid in July, will re-enter the race during the Democratic National Convention later this month in Chicago. I hear he's going to make a comeback at the Democrat convention. He's going to walk into the room and he's going to say, "I want my presidency back. I want another chance to debate Trump. I want another chance," Trump said. He also cast Harris running mate, Minnesota Gov. Tim Walz, as far left, telling the crowd that Walz ordered tampons be provided in boys' bathrooms. He ordered tampons to be put into boys' bathrooms. "Do we have any children here? Please close your ears." He ordered tampons in boys' bathrooms, okra. Last year, Walz signed a law that requires period supplies like pads and tampons to be provided in public school bathrooms for 4th to 12th grade students. According to the text of the law, free menstrual products should be provided to all menstruating students in restrooms regularly used by students in grades 4 to 12, according to a plan developed by the school district. Former President Donald Trump has wrapped up his rally in Bozeman, Montana, after more than a 90-minute speech. Trump took the stage at 9:29 p.m. Mountain Time and ended his speech at around 11:11 p.m. He was delayed to the event after his plane suffered mechanical failures, according to the U.S. Secret Service. Trump said he was there to help the opponent of Democratic Senator Jon Tester, Republican challenger Tim Sheehy. Trump made an apparent swipe at Walz at his rally in Bozeman, Montana, tonight, seemingly questioning the governor's credibility. So when you're commander-in-chief, you don't go to the run and hide away from the press. You know, they run, and they want to go on a record that's a fake record. They have a fake record, both of them. How about the new guy? How do you like him? Trump said, an apparent reference to Harris' selection of Walz as her running mate. His question was met with boos from the crowd. Minnesota Gov. Tim Walz, and now Vice President Kamala Harris' running mate, was a high school teacher and football coach in rural Minnesota nearly 2 decades ago. He also devoted time and energy to help his students create the school's first gay-straight alliance in 1999. And several students who were part of it remember Mr. Walz as goofy and accepting of everyone. Jacob Brighton, now an LGBTQ activist and lawyer, was a founding member of the GSA at Mankato West High School in Mankato, Minnesota, about 80 miles southwest of Minneapolis. He said Walz and his wife, also a teacher at the school, provided vital support during Brighton's formative years. Both Tim and Gwen were incredibly supportive of their gay students, and they modeled values of inclusivity and respect, Brighton, 42, told MSNBC this week. "I was bullied in high school. Their values helped not just me, but it also, I think, helped the bully. It showed the bully a better path forward, and I can think of no one better than Tim Walz to show that better path forward for America." Minnesota Gov. Tim Walz was just a year into his first term when in May of 2020, a Minneapolis police officer killed George Floyd by kneeling on his neck for nearly 9 minutes, spurring protests across the state and the nation. To villainize Floyd, Walz's compassion and dedication to ensure accountability for his older brother's murder and for other police brutality victims in Minnesota is one of the things that make him worthy of being the next vice president of the United States. Harris' remarks at her campaign rally in Phoenix tonight were briefly interrupted by chants that appeared to be about the Israel-Hamas war. Harris paused briefly and said that a fight for our democracy includes respecting the voices of dissent. "Let me just say this, on topic of what I think I'm hearing over there," Harris said. "I have been clear. Now is the time to get a ceasefire deal and get the hostage deal done." She added that she and Biden are working around the clock every day to reach a deal and bring home hostages who remain captive in Gaza. Trump took aim at Joe Rogan in a Truth Social post this afternoon after the podcast host said yesterday that he was a fan of Robert F. Kennedy. It will be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets buoyed the next time he enters the UFC ring. MAGA 2024. Trump wrote. Rogan has provided commentary for the Ultimate Fighting Championship since 2002. Walz appeared to mock Trump at tonight's campaign's rally in Phoenix. In talking about the large crowds at previous Harris-Walz rallies, the Minnesota governor quipped, "It's not anybody cares about crowd sizes or anything." Trump yesterday talked about his supporters, saying, "Nobody has spoken to crowds bigger than me." The former president then compared his Stop the Steal rally on January 6, 2021, to Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech on the National Mall in 1963. Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona spoke ahead of Harris and Walz at a rally in Phoenix and praised the Minnesota governor's military record. Walz served honorably in uniform for decades, Kelly said, adding that Harris' running mate has brought that experience to everything he has done since, fighting for our service members, fighting for veterans, and fighting for military families. The comments come as Republicans and Vance have attacked Walz's military record. Kelly, who was on the short list of VP candidates for Harris, also contrasted Walz with Trump, saying the former president has zero respect for any of us who have worn the uniform. Minnesota Gov. Tim Walz misspoke in a 2018 video circulated by the Harris campaign earlier this week that included the vice presidential candidate talking about his handling of weapons in war, a campaign spokesperson said Friday. The clarification comes after Republicans, led by veteran and vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance, have attacked Walz over his military record. Harris and Walz dropped by the North Phoenix Coordinated Campaign Office to meet with volunteers making signs, who they then invited to join them in the motorcade to the rally. "Oh, Momala," Harris said, reading a sign that made mention of her step-kid's nickname for her. The vice president laughed when she saw on person's coconut greater than orange sign. That supporter said she likes the vice president's past fall from a coconut tree remark, which has since gone viral. Green Party nominee Jill Stein has been recruiting Palestinian Americans to be her vice presidential running mate, as she looks to exploit the community's frustrations with Democrats' support for Israel in its war in Gaza. Two potential candidates told NBC News today that they've had multiple conversations with Stein about the job. A spokesperson for a third potential candidate, the Democratic mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, Abdullah Hammoud, confirmed Stein asked him if he was willing to be considered for the job, before realizing Hammoud is too young to be constitutionally eligible. Stein is planning to announce her running mate next Friday. It's unclear if she has made her decision yet. The Stein campaign did not immediately respond to a request for comment.